library friends, it's Miss Tara from the Warrensville Public Library. Thanks so much for stopping by to see our new STEAM experiment this Friday. So today we're going to learn all about how polymers work in plastic. So before we get started, let's talk about the couple different things that you need in order to create this really simple, fun experiment. So first, you need a Ziploc bag. Next, you need some water. And as you can see, I've filled the Ziploc bag 2/3 of the way with this water. I'd also suggest having a tin or a bowl underneath your bag when we're done with the experiment, as the water will pour out. I don't want it to get all over your parents' counters. Also, you need either bamboo skewers, apple sticks or apple skewers, or very sharpened pencils. And finally, I would suggest, for just a little bit more fun, you can get some food coloring to put into your water. So that's actually the first thing that we're going to do. Is you're going to take your Ziploc bag, and these are one of the larger Ziploc bags, and you're going to fill it 2/3 of the way up with water. Now, I already did this step because it's a little easier than showing you how I'm pouring the water in from my sink. But you're going to make sure you pour it into your bag and try to push a lot of the air out of the top of the Ziploc bag as you close it. Now, before you close it, which is what my next step is going to be, you might want to put 2 to 3 or 4 drops of a food coloring inside the bag just to make it be a little bit more fun. So I'm going to open up the bag very gently, because if you let go of this bag, it's going to pour all over. But if it does, it's going to go right into your lasagna tin. So I'm going to just pour a couple drops in. So I'm actually going to do like about 5, just to give it a little splash of fun, right? I'm going to put my food coloring to the side, and I'm going to make sure I squeeze out that air again at the top. And I'm going to shut the Ziploc bag really gently, but really good. All right, so now when I lift up my bag, you can see that it is a brand new color. It's a beautiful blue, right? I just love that color. So it just looks a lot more fun to do it that way. All right, so the next thing that we're going to do, so we have our tin, we have our bag filled with water. So you're going to take one of your skewers, okay, with the point up, okay? And you're going to pick up your bag just like this, so it's very taut. So the water is all the way in the bottom of the bag, and there isn't a lot of air here, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to pierce the Ziploc bag right in the middle of the water. Now you're going to want to make sure when you pierce the bag, you want to pierce all the way through from the one side to the other. Now, when we do this, do you think that the water is just going to spill all over the place? Is it going to pour out of the hole? Maybe. Or somehow do you think that the water will stay in the bag? Because that's what Ziploc bags are supposed to do, right? We put all these different kinds of foods in, or liquids. They're not supposed to run all over our fridge. That's the whole purpose. So let's see what happens. We'll find out together, okay? Let's lift up the bag. 1, 2, 3. Now look at that. Now, as you can see, okay, my bag is starting to drip just a little bit, but it's not dripping out as much as it normally would. Let's try a different skewer. Let's try over here in the corner. Now make sure the first time I put that skewer in a little bit hard, but as you can see, it's really not dripping out too much. Let's try another one, okay? 1, 2, 3, and pierce. Look, we now have 3 skewers in our bag, and most of our water is still inside. Let's try 2 more. Ready? There's another one. There's 4. And let's do 1 more. That's 5. So if you have a little bit of dripping coming out of your bag, that's a-okay. That is eventually going to happen anyway. But look at how much of the water is still in our bag, even though there's 5 holes, right? Let me just hold this up so you can see it a little closer. Look at this. That's pretty amazing, thinking all that fluid is still in this bag, right? All right, so Now, as soon as you set this bag down, it's all gonna rush out. Okay, see? Now it's starting to all pour out of my bag in the bottom here. So, why do we think that this bag, when we punctured the holes in, it didn't just empty? Like, why didn't all the water just fall into the bottom of the tin? Well, I can tell you. So, our bags are made of plastic, right? Like I said, the Ziploc bag's job is to hang on to whatever is inside it and keep it safe, I guess. So what's actually going on is in the plastic, there's polymers, okay? And polymers are strings of molecules that are hanging together. And whenever they have something coming in to try to rip it apart, they bind close together. And they try to close up as much as possible so it doesn't let anything out. And that's exactly what is happening here with our Ziploc bag. So we punctured those apple sticks through the bag, and the polymers clung together and made sure that it was an almost tight seal. We had, a couple drips that came out, but it made sure that it was all together and it didn't let out most of the water, if not all of it. I think when I went to put the skewer in the first time, if I had been a little bit more gentle, it probably wouldn't have had any drips, but I was a little bit more forceful with that one. So anyway, so that is why the water didn't come out of the bag. And I'll just tilt my camera down so you can see real quick. As soon as I set that bag down in my tin, it immediately started rushing out of the bag. That's because the polymers are no longer able to hold themselves together, and they all let the water rush out. So it was great to do this experiment with you today. I really enjoyed seeing all of you, and I hope that you will stop back on to do another video with us next Friday. All right, thanks so much, library friends. Bye.